All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. Sorry I'm a little bit late today, but I got the coffee made and I had trouble with getting my screens rolling here. So, as you know, got camera issues. I bought this awesome new camera, which doesn't work. It's a great camera. It's got the cool face tracking thing, but even when wired directly to the computer with a awesome cable, it's so laggy, it's not even usable. So it's going back. It was a nice idea, but for whatever reason, that thing, maybe I just got a bad one, I don't know. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about crap. So good morning. Not a great showing again today. Let's look at the numbers here. Before we came out to this show, of course, we do our morning daily paycheck. And this week I'm running a strategy from a subscriber named Jaime Garcia, who's got a simple 3-hit strategy. And I think it kind of dovetails into what I want to talk about today anyway. So I think this is a good one to look at this week. It's having a rough time, I'm not going to lie. It's 92% now. We've lost our ass 2 days in a row. A lot of rolls. There's very little protection against me. Okay, I'm going to show you the strategy here in a minute because I'm going to play it out at a way smaller scale with a different way of kind of looking at it. So I want to give you some food for thought here with strategies like this one. This one's got one major problem with it. Honestly, it's one thing that I think is an issue. There's parts with it I like a lot, but looking at it as a daily driver, I don't think so. It's not even a home run hitter, and that to me is the biggest problem. Is it's a strategy with a short-term goal, which I think over time would do well enough anyway. But if you're looking for the big score, this one's not it, unless you play it with a different kind of mindset or different kind of goal. So with that said, we'll go to the table here in a little bit. We'll look at it along with an option that I have for it in here a little bit. But in the meantime, let's get to the news of the day. So we know Friday Night Fights, Jason won it. He's a three-peat champion, three-peater. That's awesome. Leon from Great Craps is up next. So Leon's going to take him on Friday night. The earlier both of you can confirm with me, the better. Just drop me a note in Discord so I know that you're both in. Friday night, day before Christmas Eve, we're going to do it with those two. That's going to be great. I have on here Chasing the Unicorn, but I want to make sure I call this out. Greg from 555 Crafts, if you all saw it, put out a video yesterday where he's singing a little bit and challenging us to all do a little bit of singing. So tomorrow, what I'll do is I'm gonna play that video here for everybody. I couldn't get it set up last night to do it. I'll play the video here through this show so y'all can see it. And then we'll start trying to raise a little bit of extra money here. In the holidays, we raise the money obviously for cancer, for the Craps for the Cure. But holiday time, it's an easy time to raise money because everybody's thinking about other people during the holidays. I think we're going to target this one. We were talking yesterday towards like February. Let's do something and let's make a little donation, Craps for the Cure, in February. And we can put money towards St. Jude's or whatever we decide to do. Depends how much money we can raise, of course. But, we can throw it at a family, something after the holidays when all the good deeds are forgotten, right? All the good feelings are gone. We're back to the grind again. Let's do some singing. Let's do some singing together here. And let's raise some money together. And I'll put something more professional together tomorrow. I'll have a donation link page and we'll do all that stuff tomorrow. But yeah, let's all get ready to start singing. Get your voices warmed up, get your pipes ready to go, and let's start doing some singing together. We'll do something to raise some money. So that's going to be tomorrow. And today I'm going to work the box today a little bit. We're going to play with the unicorn some more. And boy, oh boy, that come out face is a bitch, isn't it? The come out chase of the unicorn is tough. The Garcia strategy tries to get around that a little bit. Skill showed us yesterday how he would get around it. I'm not sold on any of it yet. I want to play some more things out. So we'll do that today. But before that, let's talk about what happened yesterday, right? I knew that Chris was driving the table to Chiro this week. I knew that was happening. I forgot what day it was. I was going to try and get out there and hang with those two, but there's no way to pull it off this close to the holidays. But it's cool. Chris drove it out there. He built it. And apparently, I'm not sure what happened over there, but Chiro was filming Chris building and didn't do any work. Like, I think Chris did all the work. But it's kind of fun to watch that. Anyway, the table looks awesome. I love the layout. I love Chiro's. I love that he's got the mixer as the hop on the 5-1. I love the color scheme. It's cool. It's different. And you're going to see, as you can see in the video, the chips really show up well against that color. Matter of fact, my new layout's got kind of a tannish color on the inside, which I chose to get the chips to show up better. So I think it looks really cool. Chiro's just an awesome dude. I think that this is going to be so cool to have him with a real table and all that kind of stuff. And it was good. They re-rolled the 30 challenge like it ought to have been rolled without without the all-in rule. Chris still came out ahead. But it was fun to watch him and get it on, get it over with. Now it's done, right? The big battle royale has happened. And next up, we've got two friends. We've got Craig from Old Bay. We've got Chris from Dice DGen. As you know, Philly boy to Philly, and they're both East Coast guys, right? But Chris is my Philly boy, so I'm Team DGen on this one. Let's go, Chris. Craig, I'm not rooting against you so much as I'm rooting for Chris, but this is gonna be a good one. You got a lot going on here. You got Philly versus DC. You've got age versus Gen X, my generation versus the millennial Chris. You got all sorts of good stuff in here, so I think it's cool. We'll get them going after the new year. And we'll start getting this thing happening and getting the next battle royale. I don't know what they're playing for yet. I forgot. You guys got to tell me what are you playing for, and I'll start hyping that up on here, so that the world knows what's happening for y'all. All right, let's jump into the uniform. The unicorn. Let's get into the unicorn and really get into some of the ways to play. I don't want to say safely. I'm going to say safely, but not safely. But ways to get in and get out quick. And I'm going to show you a couple of ideas here and a couple of thoughts. I don't know if I have an answer for anything yet, obviously, but I want to talk through, really, I want to skip ahead here and get to phase 1, phase 2, and look at them kind of together, because phase 1 and phase 2 do kind of work in tandem. You can't have phase 2 unless phase 1 works, and sometimes phase 2 can be part of phase 1. And what I mean by that is, let's get out safely, let's get a couple of hits, and let's be playing craps for free as close as we can. So let me go to the table here. I'm going to switch my view, and I'm going to zoom into it. We're not going to roll a whole lot today, but we're going to roll a little bit. Let's get the camera turned on for you. Or is it already on? No, there it goes. Now the camera's on. And this is going to kind of remind you of what you just saw in the garage with Jaime's strategy. So I'm going to do this at a low level today. We're going to go out here at, I will do it a couple of ways, actually. So I want to talk to you about kind of grinding and playing your strategy with the grind or after the grind, okay? And here's what I mean by that. So you can do what Jaime just did, okay? Let's go 64 across, okay? And honestly, the don't pass is a thing we can talk about. There's 64 bucks here. If you're gonna play something like the Storm, okay, that Greg and Chris have created, right? You got this $30 don't down here. In this situation, your don't is about half of what your bets are, roughly. We catch a point. Let's catch an actual point. 3. Oh, look, the 3s are back. A 9. The point's going to be a 9, and you're going to lay probably 60 bucks on the 9. Why 60 bucks? Well, you're going to take the 9 down, obviously. Now you got $54 out here. This wins 30. You could probably do it for 30 bucks. That wins 30. That wins 20. That wins 50 bucks. Essentially, it covers your action up here. I always, I go for more. You might go for 45, but if you go for 60, that'll win you 40, that'll win you 30. At 70 bucks versus 54, the 7 becomes a winner for you, okay? And again, you're gonna grind through it. You gotta avoid the buckshot a little bit here. But in this way, the way the Storm works, so let's actually roll a couple of things. I'm gonna put this out here like this. Let's just freaking 7. Let's actually, the 7's fine. We can put it up there. The 7 happens here, then you win. You're up a little bit of money. But let's go ahead and get some other numbers. So there'll be our point, and I'll put the series of numbers in here, and we're gonna play it out over the course of a few strategies and see how it works. I'll try and get four numbers here, if I can. I just wanna line them up for you. There's a 7, all right. We'll use that as the first test. 2 numbers and a 7, pretty common case, right? You got a couple of horn numbers in there and a 7. What happens if this is your sequence? Okay, if you're in the Storm strategy, okay, What happens is you set a point of 9 and you're there. You catch a 5, right, which pays 14 bucks. In the storm, we bring down the outsides. One hit, the outsides come down. The second hit is a 6. That also pays 14. We'll do 15 for one. On that one, we'll do 15 bucks on payment for $1 from our rack. And you bring down the next group, which is the 5 and 9. There is no 9, you bring the 5 down. And now you're basically done. You bring your lay bet down, and you can bring these bets down, and you're out of the hand. You're done, you're letting the 7 happen, and the next roll happens to be your 7, and you win 30 bucks. Right, there's the storm. In perfect sequence, what would happen? How does it look in your rack when all that's done? Well, here is 50, 60, $4. That's your across bet. There's your don't pass. Let me find the greens in here. There's a green. There was your money for your odds. There's your initial don't pass, your odds, your 64 across. And what you brought back to the rack is this, 25, 45, 48 bucks comes back to you. So you have done the deed, you brought back a little bit, and you did a little bit of a grind. Okay, you brought back 40 bucks, $40 and change, and you have all your money back. What do you do next? Well, that's the and versus with kind of discussion. The next shooter comes out. On the next shooter, you play 44 inside for free, right? Now or you go 64 across and play it clean. You're not quite covered, but you're grinding, right? And then you go and play. You may have to do this twice, right? You may have to do that whole thing 2 times to get some money. Let's put this aside. I'm gonna do it one more time. We're gonna put the $48 over here. I'm gonna put the 64 bucks back up. Let's get the reds and check out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and make this make sense as I go. This is kind of how I practice, by the way. I do stuff like this all the time to try and like see a sequence happen in real time. So there's back 64 across. We have our don't pass, and what will eventually become our odds against the number. This 40-something dollars is profit. I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna put it down here on the pass line, just so that it's out of the way, but still kind of in play for us. Yeah, all right. That was the first set of rolls. Let's get some dice, more dice. I'm gonna do a second set of rolls here and see if we can't make this happen a couple times. I'm gonna try, I may have to force it because I wanna see some sequences here. Because I wanna see, what I really wanna compare is some good sequences, strategy versus strategy. Let's see, those two are the same. Okay, let's try, these Hawaii crap shooters ones are different size. All right, let's get, another point would be 5. There's your point of 5. There's an 8. There's a 10, that's cool. There's a 9, that's even cooler. There's a 10. I'm gonna be out of dice here in a minute. 7 out, okay. I'll put the 7s like that so we can see them. All right, so the second shooter comes up. Okay, same scenario. You're gonna be, basically you're gonna be out on a point of 5 this time. So point's gonna be 5. You'll bring your 10 bucks back to your rack. You could spread it out, but let's just bring it back for now. And the storm has this, okay? We hit an 8 for 14 bucks. And the 4 and 10 come down. We hit a 10, we're not on it anymore. That sucks. We hit a 9, that pays, we'll do 15 for $1. And the 9 comes with it. And now you're down 6 and 8. And again, like last time, you're done and you wait out. There was the 9, there's the 10 again, here's the 7. And again, the 7 is gonna pay a 30 flat and 40 for the odds. And it all comes home. Where are we at? There's 50, 64 bucks. Yeah, there's 64 bucks. That is our next, that's our next set of rolls. There's your odds and your other thing. And how'd you do? 50, 75, 85 bucks. Right, so that time you ground a little bit better. We got better hits that time, okay? And now between the 2 times, right? We've got, actually we have $100 here. Now you can play. If you look at 75, there's 100, there's 20, there's my 130, yay, with $15 extra. So I ground twice. I used the storm, and I went through 2 times. There's 130 across. My $64 is back, and I've earned enough money to play my strategy that I wanted to play anyway after going through 2 full sessions of it. You see what happened there? This is the case of grinding a little bit and then funding your play, building your bankroll to play how you want. Because here now is all my initial money, my initial don't, my initial odds, my 64 across. I can do the whole sequence again, okay? I've got $16 in the rack right here, and I've got 130 that I can play across. And I'm good, I'm happy, I'm stoked, I'm awesome. I can even do this at 64 across and do it twice now. I can go 64 across 2 times for free, right? And not have to worry about getting out of the thing. I can play 2 shooters clean and hope that one of those 2 shooters is the man that's gonna make me all the money, right? That's what I've done. However, if you do this, and let's say this shooter here or this shooter here goes off, right? And you miss it because you're out. Your strategy of the storm is get your 2 hits and go home. Pull your shit down and you're done. Jaime Garcia's strategy, win 2 units up here or 3 units up here and get out of the shooter. Well, what if this guy here had 30 more rolls between us getting our hits? What if he hit 30 more rolls? And your strategy was to be off for the 30 rolls, you'd miss the whole damn thing, okay? So that would be a case of grinding, then playing with what you ground. Using the grind to build your bankroll to play. And again, using a little bit of a don't to sort of get yourself safe so you can get those 2 hits and be done. That's the storm. It's a great strategy. It works well, as you can see, in a kind of an ugly roll and kind of an okay little roll. It works okay. Let's run it now side by side. And again, we have 130, 140, 146 was what this person made, okay? The other person I can tell you now is gonna lose, right? I can look at the numbers and get this next guy's gonna get his tail whacked, but let's do it anyway, okay? Let's come out here without a don't. There's 64 across, okay? So no don't, okay? And if you're gonna play this style here, just go for it and grind as you go kind of a thing, or win as you go. This poor guy here gets a point of 9, gets it on the 5, which pays $14, right? He'll probably drop a buck and do a full press to a quarter, which is what I would do, right? Get the full press up to a quarter, because again, you're gonna play the tier pressure out of the gate, go to a quarter. Same thing with the 6, it wins $14. Right, it goes to 24, and then we 7 out and lose the whole thing. This guy here goes belly up immediately, right? You can see why, when that happens in real time, why somebody would choose to play with a hedge, because that happens more often than you care to admit. The next time through on the 5, what happens to this guy this time? Well, 5 gets set as the point. We take this down. And then we start trying to make some money. Remember, the tier pressure is getting 4 hits, right? So the 8 hits, we don't pull it down. It goes for $14. It moves to 24 with 2. The 10 hits, it pays $18. We're gonna take it to a quarter with $2 and change. The 9 hits, that's our 3rd hit on tier pressure. The 9 hits for $15. We'll take 15 for 1 and make the 9 look like a quarter. 10 hits again, $50. Okay, now we're done, right? The tier pressure phase 1, you're done. Now, technically speaking, what you would do here is move this to 110 inside, right? 110 inside, take all this back. And then, of course, Big Red comes and we lose the 110 inside, right? But that's okay. We took a crack at it. How did we actually end up? There's 25, 35, 40. So we had $40 out of the 64. So you end up losing $24. You take a $24 crack at something really good to happen. And again, this one here kind of goes as it goes. Your money right out the gate, no protection. You lose 64, you lose 24. The other guy here with a little bit of protection actually profits over $100 and can play for free. It's interesting, right? Sometimes when you have this hedge down here, if you don't get buckshotted like I did in the garage this morning, this works great. If I had thrown a 9 in here and hit the point, right, that would have cost you, close to $100, $90. So I think when you're crafting these things, we have to take a look at that. Where's the risk and how does it look over multiple rolls? I like doing this actually to see what it looks like playing different styles of play during that phase. So let's take a look at this from another lens. A third option, which we've never really talked about, which is playing tier pressure while you're doing this, okay? So far, what I've done is I've taken, let's get reset with the 64 across. I've taken the storm and just pulled the bets right down, right? What I've not yet done is tried playing it with the bets sort of going as they go. And I think in reality, what I would do here is kind of a combination of storm and a wedge. So I'm gonna up this up a little bit, one level up, work down and back up at the same time. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's take these bets 64 across down and let's work this thing at 160 across. Let's do the full quarter size bets. And I just want to give you a kind of a visual look at a different way of thinking through it, because one way was let's build a bankroll and play safely. The other way was, well, screw it, we're just going to put the bankroll to risk right away and pray a little bit. Here we go. Let's put $50 on the don't, okay? And when the number comes, we'll go with 120 in odds, okay? So again, we have 160 out here, okay? A 7 on a point of 9 is going to win you 50, and 120 pays 80. It pays 130 in total, okay? Not quite enough to cover the 160, but it's a good jump at it because I know we're going to start pulling bets down and making ourselves okay. So here's how this would work. We get a point of 9, okay? We're going to get a 5. What I do with the 5 is this. We're going to get paid $35. We're going to wedge down the 4 and 10. So we're going to take 50, or 25 rather, and we'll wedge them down and take back $60. Now, if the 7 were to come at this moment, remember you're going to win 50 plus 80, 130. What you have on the felt here is 110, 120, 130. Your 7 wins more than what you have, and you've pulled profit back. Okay, that is a way you could pull some odds if you want to, or leave them up there, your choice. Next roll is a 6, 516, also pays $35. Okay, we're gonna pull the 5 and 9 down, place them out there at $10. Okay, now I've got 100, 25, 130. I was out there for 160. If I pull my odds, I don't need the odds anymore. Now my don't covers this completely, because what I've got out here is 130 in my rack. I start with 160. I have $30 at risk. I have $50 on the don't. I'm totally covered. I'm out of the hand, right? The worst thing that can happen is, of course, the 9 rolls, right? And but we get the 7 and we make money. So in this case here, this does okay. We make $50 on the don't. Actually, the 9 would have came down with everything else. So where did we end up? Well, there's our don't. There's our 100, 150. There's our 160. That goes back out for the next time. I'll pull this money down. 7, you lose all that. You're out there again. We have enough money here for our odds again, and we've profited $30 on a really shitty roll. Nice. Next roll. Let's put the 160 back out. Again, we'll play it a little differently than the first time. Points 5. Take the 5 down. We'll put that there. We'll take the 5 down. Next roll's an 8. $35. We're doing the same thing. $35. The 4 and 10 come down. They get placed for $10 each. I'm going to wedge them down and pull money as I go, like so. Next roll is going to be the 10. That pays 18 bucks. What we do with the 10 is we press it up to a quarter. Take back 2 change. Again, that was run number 1. Here's the 9. The 9 pays 35, 25, 35 bucks. 5 and 9 now come down. Let's see, the 10. Yeah, okay. So what I did here, by the way, 5 and 9 come down. There's that. They go to 10. Remember, I brought this down on the first hit of the 8, brought it down to 10. As soon as it hit the second time, I start tier pressuring as I go. This is kind of like pressing up during the roll, not waiting for it all to come down and then going up. I'm actually going to reduce and grow at the same time. So there was my 10. My 9 hits. Now it pays 15 for 1. 15 for 1. And it goes to a quarter. Press it right up. Be aggressive with it, right? There's the 10, which pays 50 bucks. And I'm out, right? So what we do here, then we go to 110 inside. Move that in, bring this back, and look at where we are. This time here, by doing it as I go, with a higher level in, at the 5 comes down, higher level up, moving down wedge style, and also tier pressuring as I go, I get my 110, but I'm also covered, right? There's 150, there's the 160 that I need for the next across bet, and I've got $46 in profit. So here I'm playing again for free at a higher level than before. I have all my money back. And of course, I would have pulled this by the time we got our money back, and now the 7 pays for everything. So 50 bucks here in the end, like so. So again, the options here are, 1, put your $64 out there, get your don't pass going with the odds, take your hits and get out. Storm it down, let the storm drain all your money into your rack twice, and then you have enough money to play for real on shooter number 3, whatever that looks like. The downside of that is you missed out on an amazing roll. The good side of that is on the average rolls, these are 2 very average, normal looking rolls, you made good money, okay? The other option was to just put your 64 bucks out there without any protection at all and just pick a side and go. Well, both times you lost 64 bucks. Both times you made nothing when you did that. Now again, shooter 3 could be the big guy, and you're out there early enough to make money with it. The other option was to start a little bit higher, right? I wedged down, but I also started the press after each number plays independently. So I'm regressing outside in, but also playing the way that I want to play, the aggressive way, as the numbers repeat on the inside. So there's kind of a down and up at the same time sort of thing, and we ended up here in pretty good shape, right? We ended up making 120 bucks. So there's options, right? None of those I would call the unicorn. However, we did profit on the 7 on both of these. On 2 crap rolls, the 7 made money for us, which is what you want, right? Here in a 2 roller, we still made money, which is what we want. And in all but the case where we started out with our money out there straight, we're able to play aggressively without risk, okay? The one strategy, for sure without risk. The second strategy, not so much. We ended up only making 30 bucks. So you couldn't really go out there again, but I think it's kind of interesting to have a small size don't with big, giant, removable odds. Because once you get to this point here, the odds come down and you let the flat don't cover, even though it's less than this, it's actually a full profit center. The flat don't becomes a full profit center. So anyway, there's a couple ways to look at it. And I don't know that any one of them is the answer or any one of them is in fact the unicorn, but it feels to me like there's a bunch of ways to play this. And I kind of like moving backwards and growing at the same time, where it's more of an and thing, like I'm gonna grind and grow versus grind first, then grow. So let's put those two ways side by side, and let's see if there's an advantage either way. And I'm gonna play it out just a couple of times, and we'll get a sense of what it looks like. So let's take all the dice out of here. We'll take all the bets out of here. I'm gonna set both guys up front and back like before. So I have one guy with 50, one guy with 25. All right. The guy with 50, he'll be in the back. He'll play 160 across as a base bet. The other player is going to play 64 across. Actually, these got to be their odds. I'm going to put their odds bets back here just for the time being. I'll move them later, but for now, that's what they are. Let's roll regular dice, not the prefab dice, and I'll play them both for a minute here, and we'll just see how we fare. So the puck's off. Let's come out. And I got dice everywhere now. And we have an 8. So our point's going to be 8. What both players likely do here is take the 8s down, right? We're just going to take them down. So player 1 is going to, I'll put his profit here in front of him. He's got the 12 bucks. This guy here has got the 30 bucks. That's just their money in their rack, what's coming off the table. Okay, there's our 8. They're both got their odds now against the 8 for probably just 2 rolls. It really only takes a couple rolls to get yourself where you're going to get to, hopefully. Let's avoid big red for a few minutes here if we can. There's an 8. So right off the bat, we get buckshotted. This is, again, the hole of holes, right? We're going to lose both of that. So let me note that out there. That's going to be 170 for this guy. What a bummer. I'd like to show a strategy and we get kicked right away. So he's going to lose. I'm going to put his losses over here on the pass line behind him. That guy there is going to lose 60. Okay, he loses 85. So they're both down a bit. God, boy, nothing like starting down, right? Here we go. All right, 9. New point's going to be 9. So move their bets over. Again, they both got this little like extra bankroll here to kind of cover that. Let's go. All right, there's a yo. It's better than nothing. There's an 8. Okay, sweet. So they both got an 8. Now, they both play it kind of the same way. This player here is going to take his 14 bucks for the 8 and bring the 4 and 10 offline. They're going to come back along with the 14 bucks. Okay. This other player here at 35, he's going to basically bring the 4 and 10 down, but not out. They're going to look like $10 each. So we're going to go ahead and get that. Place it for 10 and bring back 15 bucks. First job first, right? For both guys is to recover that earlier loss. But this guy's coming out. The wedge does for 2 hits. This guy goes down and back. So it's a little bit of a bounce back. And we'll see which dude makes the right decision here, right? There's a 4, 1, 5. So for him, in the front, the straight storm will pay 15 for 1. And the 5 comes down. The 6 and 8, for now, we'll have them come down. The storm can be played where you leave him out there and you can play aggressively. But the first thing I want to do with him is pull out 64 bucks, right? 50, 64. That's the money to play with next time. There's his money for the next crack at it. His odds can also come down. He's playing now with a quarter against the point. And what he's got in profit is 25, 28 bucks. He could go out there and play the 6 and 8 for a little bit. For now, we're going to hold him off as profit, and that's it. This player here on that 5, 35 bucks. The 5 comes down. There is no 9 to $10, and he brings back 50 bucks. Now, what his rack looks like, again, starts with 160. There's 100. There's the 10. So he's light 25 bucks essentially to get himself covered back up because he's putting money back in place. So he actually can't call himself done. However, for this player here, that's no longer required. He can pull his odds down, and the odds can come down because, again, if the 7 comes right now, he wins 50, which covers these 2 bets essentially. So he's fine, right? He's fighting the 9. They're both fighting the 9 with their flat don'ts. And they both have their odds back, which is great. I'm going to put those somewhere. There's his odds. There's his. I'll put them. That's a terrible place for them. They're off. Let's just call the odds off. All right. Now, let's keep at it. There's a yo. Nothing like a wasted roll on a Tuesday, right? 6. Fantastic. All right, so the 6 comes. Storm's not playing, right? This guy here is deciding to take a couple of hits, lock up profit for next time. He's building bankroll to play later. The other guy here is still playing, $35 on the 6. Now, what would happen here is this. These come down, and they go back out at 12 bucks. So he's regressed all the way down to basically $64 and starts to play. Here's his 150. There's his 160 for next time. He's covered for the next out. And he's got $52 in profit plus what's out here. Again, he lost all that before. So still running from behind, but now he's playing. He's set up to play for free. $54 out here, 50 bucks on the don't. The 7 comes, he's a winner, guaranteed winner, because this here was all profit play. Anything else comes, he's growing up and he's into the strategy and playing. Is there an advantage to either way? With this set of rolls, this guy, of course, has the advantage because he's playing and he's ready to go. This guy here could be out here right now at 12 bucks, right? And could have got that hit on the 6. So there's a live look at two ways of doing it, right? One, storming or regressing down wedge style. One, getting out storm style and living to fight the next fight. So no gerbils were harmed in the making of this episode, and no decisions were made because both strategies did well. We didn't really see the early 7 here that would have made a difference, but the early 7 for both guys does the same work. I think the first player actually makes 15 bucks on early 7. This guy loses 30 bucks on early 7. That's the only difference. And that's just because of the size of the odds that I chose. If I went out there for 150 in odds, it's a thing. I think the thing to do is pull the odds down as soon as you get yourself to where the odds cover. That's the math play, right? Get the odds out of there as fast as you can and pick a side. Let the side play it out. I think there's more to be done there, but those are when I look at the ways of playing the early stage of a unicorn, that's what I'm looking at, is like a not too scary sized flat don't to beat the come out with. Like, this is not too scary. 25 bucks, if I lose it on the 7 or 11, it is what it is. Or 50 bucks, it is what it is. That has to be the acceptable loss to you. After that, though, you know, you're going to have face a roll or two where you've got these big odds. Okay, you know, if you're going to worry about protecting those bets for a few minutes, you have to do the big odds to make that work. But it's only for a couple of rolls, and then you're out of it. So think about that as you're building up your unicorn plays. I think that's kind of an interesting way to do it. So there it is. All right, you guys are singing songs and ignoring me completely, which is great. If Chris Sideshow sings Shake It Off, oh my God, that would be too funny. All right, cool. You guys are 100% ignoring me. This is great. I love it. I'm talking my ass off over here, and all I'm seeing in chat is stuff about music. That's awesome. Okay, cool. All right, let me go back here. Let's go back to the other view so you can see. Where am I? There I am. All right, cool. All right, that was fun. Again, just food for thought. Just think about ways to play those early bets. I think the secret to right side play is the first 2 rolls. So be careful with them, and there you go. Again, I'm looking out. Oh my God, you guys like, this is hysterical. Greg, you started something. You started a real storm. I will sing tomorrow. I'm actually going to put up a little. I got to put a website up, Greg, to take the donations. And tomorrow I'll do that, and I'll sing tomorrow. I'll bring my bass out. Can't sing to the bass though, right? Get some blues going, da-doom, 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 you know. But yeah. All right, there it is, folks. Get out of here. Have a Tuesday. I know it's a little early, but I do have a 9 o'clock today that I got to get to, and that's it. Happy Tuesday. Wish me luck here. Oh my God, the snow is coming down so hard. It's great. We have like a good 6 inches of snow in the last day and a half here in Seattle. We don't get a lot of snow out here, so when it snows, it's like Armageddon. So anyway, there it is. Y'all enjoy your Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow. Probably not tonight for practice. It's too cold, but I'll see you for sure in the morning. Have a good one. Bye. We'll end. There we go.